Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Marvel Universe Thor. Now, this is the second Marvel Universe figure I'm reviewing. First was Bucky, and wasn't amazed with him, but he was an okay figure. So, this is actually one of the ones I really wanted. I saw some pictures of this guy from an earlier con, and I thought he really looked awesome. I gotta say though, my big complaints is that a lot of the face sculpts in this series suck. Let's get a zoom in of Thor's face sculpt. Oops, sorry, too far. That is terrible. I mean, that is a garbage face sculpt. He looks like a little old Dutch woman. Not to mention his wing is bent on his helmet. So, the rest of him looks awesome, but that face sculpt is terrible. Of course, onto the packaging. Over here you have the hammer symbol. Up here some very nice box art of Thor. Of course, you can see his file there in the background. His only other accessory is his hammer and his base. Onto the back of the packaging. Let's move this glare off the box here. And down here it says, when Thor returned from the darkness of Ragnarok, he found a world far different from the one he'd left behind. He therefore resolved to concern himself more with Asgard and its people than with the problem of humanity. Even so, the closeness he felt with the mortals of Earth led him to bring his kingdom to the mortal realm so that his fellow gods might learn what it was like to live among them. Of course, down here you've got Norman Osborn says, become an agent of Hammer at FuryFiles.com. As we've seen with Bucky, either they've canceled that whole enter that little code thing, or they haven't got the Series 2 stuff up and running. And down here you have a picture of Iron Man, Captain America, and Luke Cage. Over here you have a little, says Marvel Universe, has a picture of Thor, says Series 2 number 12. Very massive box compared to some of the rest of the line. But that being said, very much looking forward to having Thor. Let's pull him out of packaging. And here Thor is out of packaging. Let's get a quick 360 of him. I complained with my, perfect example there. I complained with my Marvel Universe Bucky that one of the major problems I have with this line besides the face sculpt is, when you pull the figures out of package, it's like their joints are already extremely loose, and this guy is a perfect example. It feels like his legs are barely even attached. Now, that doesn't say much for the quadricep joints, they're just fine. But the knee joints, everything is just horribly loose. So, I mean, it's terrible. It's like I bought the figure already played with. These joints suck. Which is strange because in the upper torso, his articulation seems fine. Arms are fine. Speaking of articulation, arms look like they would do a 360, but his cape's hindering it. Arms go out to here, bend to the elbow, swivel, and wrist joint. Of course, let's put his arm back down. Same for both arms, once again hindered by the cape. Of course, down here, spins the quadricep, double jointed at the knee, although pretty hindered by how bulky his leg is. Ankle joint, and just, I gotta say, it's more so the right leg than the left leg, although the left leg is definitely loose too, but this is just terrible quality control on Hasbro's part. Now, that being said, the legs often lead to him falling over on the base, although it's not a near constant problem. It's definitely something that needs to be addressed. Let's put him back on his base real quick. Well, actually, let's get, of course, it's the standard base. It says Thor, number 12, Marvel. Nice that they give us 2 foot pegs once again. But that being said, let's go on to detail if he'll stand. With the combination of his leg joints being already pretty loose and his cape being extremely back heavy, this guy loves to fall over. Looks like I'm going to have him on his base. 1 second while I line the foot pegs up. And there we go. So on to detail. Not to beat a dead horse, but terrible face sculpt. The wing bitten back into place. It's still a little off, but it's not terrible. Oh, I also forgot to mention his head, it looks like it would have articulation, but his hair is hindered once again. I mean, his hair is hindering his head movement. Other than that, though, there's some very nice detail on his costume. I actually think Hasbro did a pretty good job sculpting Thor's costume, and even his hammer. As you can see over here, I have it in his hand. Some pretty nice detail on that. I just knocked Thor over. So panning back out. Let's get Thor's hammer out of his hand. As you can see, he's starting to lean back. Once again, leg joints, cape's really heavy. Really bad quality control on Hasbro's part. Stand. Okay. Of course, like I said, very nice detail in the hammer. So, I definitely like that. One hand is open, one hand is closed. I don't think it would have killed him to maybe left both hands open, but oh well, that's really more of a personal gripe. So, Thor. Overall opinion. Oh, actually, let's go on to his secret files. I almost forgot. Didn't have to rip that package open like with Bucky. Of course, you get a little picture of him on the back. His card. It says Superhuman Registration Act. Thor Odinson, I guess. Codename Thor. Blah blah blah. Powers: Class 100 Strength level, above average Asgardian endurance and resistance to injury. The Odin Force allows Thor to have near infinite cosmic and mystical abilities. Expert warrior, hand-to-hand combatant, hammer throwing, and swordsman. So, interesting. Of course, you have your little memo, and it says, Mr. Stark, I hope you get this. No one knows where you are, so I'm just putting this in the Dropbox you told me about. Your idea about tracking Thor's movement with weather satellites is bearing out pretty well. My team has tracked a series of small, fast-moving warm fronts all over the Midwest. They don't always follow prevailing winds, which indicates supernatural activity. The activity has decreased since the Asgardians all moved to Latveria, but not ceased entirely, which seems to indicate Thor didn't follow his people. We're working on the way to initiate contact on your behalf. I know Thor doesn't really want to talk to you, but you said you needed help. My team and I will keep on top of this as long as we can, but Hammer has started poking around my lab, so he may be shut down soon. Take care of yourself, Dr. Lauren Dean. Down here it says, Carla, have Ares and the team ready to track Thor. I want to know his every move. In the meantime, I'll be in Latveria attending meetings. Contact me only when necessary, Norman. So, interesting little clip-on, but once again, final thoughts on Thor. $7.50. Once again, the price could stand to drop. It definitely wouldn't kill him to go down to $6. The face sculpt on this guy is garbage. The legs on this guy are a perfect example of why I don't like this line. Terribly loose joints straight out of packaging. So, it's just, there's a lot of quality control. I don't like the face sculpt. But overall, once you get him said and done, you've just got him sitting on a stand. Thor's actually a pretty solid figure. I do think he's going to look nice in the display at a distance, not getting too close up on this little old Dutch woman face sculpt. Oh, also, you got the code in this pack I forgot to mention, but it's pretty much useless. So overall, he's an okay figure. He's definitely not a strong point for me to go forward in picking up the rest of the line, but that being said, this is JTrain997 saying I'll see you soon, YouTube.